Warning, don't listen if it's a podcast you want. This is a Chumcast. Just your basic gabfest among chums. A little news, some entertainment, an annoying opinion or two, and, if you're lucky, maybe even a chuckle.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
So it's time to buckle up. Whetstone Entertainment, in association with Is Chill Productions, presents Don't Listen, a basic Chumcast. And here are your hosts, Big Red and The Shebs.
Remember, everyone, just don't be yourselves.
It's showtime.
Go time.
Fire it up, Big Red, as always, all right?
She's a very kinky girl.
I know the song, but I don't know the next line.
The kind you don't take home to
Unfurl.
I love throwing those things at you.
Was it the right word?
No, it's Rick James. She's a very kinky girl.
Yeah.
The kind you don't take home to mother.
Well, I would have wrote unfurl because that rhymes with girl.
It's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. And I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. And we are inside the Candlestick Park studios today.
Candlestick Park. There
Seems
you go.
like a distant memory, doesn't it?
A distant memory. A very distant memory, yes.
Did you ever recall any good times at Candlestick?
First sporting event at any level. I went to see the Niners and the Cowboys. I was on Monday Night Football. So it was blacked out in the Bay Area, 1970 something. That was, so it was Staubach. I remember seeing Staubach and Tony Dorsett. And of course on the Niners, I think it was Plunkett. And I remember Gene Washington catching some balls. Yeah.
So that's way back. That's like 75 or something.
My first thing. And what I remember the most about just that, and everybody will relate to this, is that when you first come through the stadium, the hall,
going up the escalators?
The concourse, right? And the stadium with all the lights on disappears in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
The colors and the brightness and stuff. It was just awesome.
The fog.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was a little kid and I sat next to these Dallas Cowboy fans that kept yelling, "Go Dallas," right? And I would just yell, and I would yell back, "Go 49ers." And they would yell at me, "Go Dallas." And I was a little kid. They were like fighting with me.
I remember the $2 bleacher seats for Giants games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just depended. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and then I remember also meeting friends. There was that little tower in the parking lot. Remember the tower?
I remember the tower, yeah.
So we would all meet friends at the tower. Meet up at the tower. $2 for the bleachers. You could just show up. Nobody was going.
You had to have those landmarks because that's where you had to meet people at landmarks because there were no phones. Yeah, we'll meet at this time. We'll meet here, and then the big debate was how long do you wait for somebody who hasn't shown up?
Yeah, and then you just had the constant parties that were always happening in that huge parking lot.
I like that at any moment, like for a Giants game, that you could go.
Show up.
You could just go show up anytime.
And the traffic on the 101 was not too bad at that point.
Thursday night, hey, let's go see the Expos.
There was something epic about the weather and being on the bay and being out on a point. Candlestick Park was
remember the fog rolling in over the top?
The fog rolling over the top. And now you see these games happening in, there's no Giants there, right? The Giants have built this epic downtown stadium.
It's beautiful on its own. It's great.
And the 49ers have moved on to
Levi Stadium, right?
Levi Stadium down in the Silicon Valley. But those were some really good times with Joe Montana, Russ Francis, Wendell Tyler.
Oh, the whole, Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott, the whole defense. Absolutely.
So the Candlestick Park Studios makes me feel like an old man. It really does.
Well,
not a young man anymore.
You're not a young man,
but it is a profound, especially when you're driving on the 101 and you drive by where Candlestick Park used to be, and the stadium is completely wiped. It's like a hill of rubble.
Yeah,
and they've not done anything that they talked about doing at Candlestick Park.
Politics of San Francisco.
I do remember when they played the last game there, though, how they ripped up the seats. Everybody got their seats, and everybody ripped up the turf, which can't be existing anymore, right?
Yeah.
It was a big
they sold
deal.
Everything off, yeah.
We definitely all identified with Candlestick Park.
If they made it, they should have made at least where the grass was. They should have made a park,
Yeah.
and then had symbolized where home plate was, and then also where Dwight Clark made the catch. Kind of that. They should have just had statues there.
Anything's better than a hill of rubble.
I'm telling you, prime real estate though. Bay views.
So, are you enjoying the Valtrex, the herpes cure, the herpes medication they put out for us today? But the Live Aid posters are good.
Yeah, those are nice.
The Freddy Krueger, Freddie Mercury.
Krueger. There, that's still 80s though. You're still okay. You're still in the same decade.
Freddie Mercury poster and the Who, Elton John. All these pictures and posters they put up from Live Aid. Thank you very much to the Ischel and the Whetstone people for taking care of the studio. A signed copy. We're going to talk about Ernest Hemingway a little bit later.
Ooh.
One of the most fascinating dudes on the Ernestine. Ernestine. His mom called him Ernestine. But they have a sign. They're saying this is they bought this online. A signed copy of one of his great novels, Old Man in the Sea.
Oh, okay.
And coming up, all right, let's talk about what we got going on. We got the power pole is coming up a little bit later. We got Crazy Town. But right now, we're going to get into what happened on this day in history.
On this day in history!
On this day in history is being brought to you by Treads Shoe Shops. And let's see, it was back in 1979. The final episode of All in the Family aired on CBS.
Oh,
Archie Bunker.
Oh, Archie.
He was even grouchier than me.
Oh, you think?
I have my days, but he had his years.
Yeah, he was a grouchy man. But,
I always felt a little bit sorry.
Played the role really well.
I felt a little bit sorry for Edith and Meathead.
Oh, she loved him.
Oh, Meathead got grilled. Meathead and Mr. Jefferson.
Oh, Meathead. Yeah, he.
I didn't know that All in the Family was one of TV's most watched sitcoms of all time, and it was really known for the topics about race, gender, sex, bigotry, and really the sitcom gets credit for bringing reality to primetime TV.
Yeah, it really was a contrast of generations, right? So the Sally Struthers and the Rob Reiner characters, the young
Sally Struthers.
That's
a good pull right there.
But the younger generation talking about the hippie movements and the peace movements and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the old guard, Archie Bunker on the backside. Carol O'Connor, played beautifully by Carol O'Connor. Yeah.
That's another good. That's good knowledge right there. Carol O'Connor and Sally Struthers.
Sally Struthers, right? And
that's why you make the big bucks.
And
at
then
the Chumcast.
No, the key thing was that there were a couple Stapletons in the actress fields back then, right? There was Maureen Stapleton and Jean Stapleton.
Oh wow, you're really earning your keep today.
So All in the Family was Jean Stapleton, and I kept when the Cocoon came out, which is what kind of Maureen Stapleton was. Kind of, probably one of her bigger movies. I kept thinking that was the lady from All in the Family, and I kept thinking, boy, she's changed, but it wasn't. So,
wow,
that's how I learned about the Stapletons back then.
Sally Struthers and Meathead and Rob
Reiner. That's right. Became famous director now after that, right?
I mean, he went huge.
Liberal activist.
Who would have ever thought that guy was going to emerge out of that show?
I'm telling you.
He was annoying, dude. His liberalism was to a point of a little annoying.
And don't forget, character-wise, his character was from his family heritage.
San Fran.
Polish. He was Polish. So the character of Meathead, that his family lineage was Polish. And of course, when Archie found that out, of course, the Polak jokes ran afoul.
Oh, yeah. I never understood Polak jokes. I never understood Jewish jokes. I never understood.
Well, you take a joke and put whatever
race,
or whoever you want to degrade, and you just throw them into it, right?
I understood the redhead, tall, freckled, discrimination that was going on, but I never understood why anybody was discriminating against the Jews and the Polacks. But Archie Bunker found a way to do it.
That's how he did.
And the show was so successful. By the way, I just got to say this: it was so successful that there were a bunch of spinoffs. The Jeffersons. I watched The Jeffersons. I loved The
Yeah,
Jeffersons.
good show.
Maude, I didn't really watch it.
No.
Who was the star of that?
B. Arthur.
B. Arthur.
Golden
Girls.
Yeah, but she's, and she always had to wear flats because she's so tall. She's like Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue. She's tall.
And Good Times.
Good Times was great.
Loved it. JJ, I Am Kid Dynamite.
That's right.
They were all spin-offs. So that was a look back at what happened on this day in history back in 1971 and was brought to you by our friends at Shred's Shoe Shops.
Don't listen. It's a mind virus.
Pass me more of that damn awesome sauce.
Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and let's get stupid.
Oh my God, you got to pass the awesome sauce. It's Big Red. He's the Shebs. It's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. We are inside the Candlestick Park studios, and we want you guys to stick around if you're bored and you have nothing else to do because the power poll is coming up a little bit later. That's the What the Fuck power poll. And also, welcome to Crazy Town. We're going to talk about Ernestine Hemingway.
Oh.
His mom called him Ernestine and dressed him like a girl.
Well, that makes for good writing.
Celebrate good times.
Come on.
Oh, you're getting better. You're getting better.
That was a hard one. For a second, I had to think about that.
You did. Because, I'm
a big Kool and the Gang fan. Well, the one song.
There's Kool and the Gang.
I know, they're good.
Yeah, they're good. They stuck aroround. They did the whole San Mateo County Fair thing for a very long time.
My brother, when he was little, fell in love with what was it?
He fell in
Celebration. Fell in love with Celebration, the song.
Yeah,
bought the 45 and played it over and over and over and over and over.
Probably would have killed him.
Yes.
I probably would be in jail right now for killing Tyler.
He was like 6.
I still would have killed him.
He's coming on the show.
I would have sacrificed him to the gods.
He's going to come on the show next season.
Okay, good.
He's
I cannot wait.
He's funny. He's interesting. He's got some value to the viewership.
Okay, speaking of value, it's time for the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka.
Oh yeah, the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka.
And our sponsors today for the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka are Red Sky Outfitters and Trail Guides. And they've got this thing all set up for us. So I'm just going ahead and going for it here.
Here they go.
Okay.
What's the card say? From the fishbowl.
Hang on,
getting low. You guys got to start.
It's stuck together here.
When are you going to...
where are we going to go? Where are we going to go when we leave California?
Okay.
Pretty good.
Then that's funny because actually just started to have some conversations about that at some point, 10 years from now. Where do we want to go? I don't know.
I don't know either. There's so many choices, but there are some very trendy choices. So it's going to be difficult. My brother has just retired. He's works for the federal government, and he just retired. And he said, "Screw it, I'm going to Bangkok."
Oh, Thailand
because the state of California taxes at the highest rate on his pension, and it taxes you on your Social Security at a very high rate too. So he did some domestic searching, right? He went through some different states that I think included Texas, Florida, New Hampshire, all of the states that market themselves as great places to retire. And he said, screw it. I'm going to Bangkok.
See, he said, screw it. I don't want to pay for anything I deserve to get.
Yeah, basically, I mean, that's why so many people are leaving California.
It's hot in Bangkok all the time.
I think the word is humid.
Yes.
I think the word, and he is another redhead, freckled, in trouble. Pale, freckled, tall, 6'5" redhead.
Oh,
he's going to be a celebrity overnight, probably.
He's gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
So the real catalyst for people that when it really picked up in steam about people in California talking about leaving the state was during COVID, when people discovered that they didn't have to go to the office to work. I could go wherever I want.
Yeah.
Right. I've got this $2 million house. why wouldn't I work out of the house and maximize my investment instead of driving to the city every day or driving and dealing with this shitty traffic, right? Putting in $6 gas, right? Why would I deal with all that when
we'll still see where this lands, right? I mean, a lot of people are coming back part-time now, and the companies, there's pros and cons for both, but yeah, that's
well, you have to admit that everything nowadays looks better. Like everything is cheaper, right? So Boise was hot for a minute, right? And then we pushed those prices up in Boise. Now people are kind of down on Boise, right?
That's right.
Reno, Nevada, obviously no state tax. It's only about a 4 or 5 hour drive without traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a 2-day trip with traffic.
Yeah, not like you last week where you came in all flustered with that stuff.
Yeah, from the Bay Area to Reno without traffic, maybe 5-6 hours tops. But now with traffic, it could take you a week to get up there. And we have everybody's gone there. So now Reno, which is the high Sierras, it's not ideal. And growing up, it was a bunch of toothless hookers, basically, for the most part up there. It was filthy, but it has changed because of all the housing that has gone in. And it's a great location for people who want to stay close to the Bay Area and avoid the taxes of California in Nevada. But the prices have gone up. Friends of mine have gone up there. Anytime, $1 million homes all over Reno.
Anytime. So the Great Migration from COVID really benefited people who could work remotely, but have not bought a house. We're renting, right? So they could go somewhere else with their kind of Bay Area salary and buy their first home, and that was a great moment for them. People who own the homes, the reason why you stay is because the appreciation just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
And so the people that I've known who've left have been basically retirement where they're cashing out, they're taking the equity and using the equity as part of their retirement. And that's kind of the, okay, where are you going to go? And
the equity is what's going to get you there, because your fixed income is not going to get you there in California.
Right. And really the key is that it's not that you want, I would say it's not that people want to leave, right? I mean, California has a lot to offer. I mean, it's crowded, but the weather, the access to all the different things, but you at some point you have to cash out on your equity and you need to move.
And that's the question mark. There's a lot of historical context for what you just said. California, historically, we had the gold rush. People came here from all over the world. The Chinese were the largest group of immigrants that came to the San Francisco Bay Area during the gold rush. Okay, so, and I will go back to stories from Sir Francis Drake, which, he came to Mill Valley, Marin, right there. And when they got here, there was no turning back. They thought it was heaven.
Yeah.
When they'd never seen redwood trees before. And we are the breadbasket for the world here, the valley,
because of in the shipping that what the San Francisco Bay offered as far as protection for the maritime section to move product in and out was just so ideal. It was awesome.
It was perfect. So it's I don't want to come across to anybody as bragging about California, but really ideally that just everybody gets fouled up with the politics. So to get the politics out of the way and just say, okay, this is a state, right? Let's say they're all the same affordability. You're going to want to be in California. The location that we're in right here, we have the bay, we have the ocean, we have the mountains, we have everything. We have the most perfect Mediterranean weather in the world.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why it's so expensive to live here, right?
Yeah.
But the question is, where do you go from here, right? You're not going to, Reno is tough. I mean, we had Boise, not going to cut it.
So people may make a tax decision like your brother, right?
Yeah.
And accept
that's
something
what
else.
It's all about.
Or but maybe not. If that's less of an issue for you, then maybe it's where quality of life is. Is it?
Well, it's a mix.
Is it where you have more room, get out in the room, go to kind of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, or you don't mind the cold, or you go upstate New York, or just beautiful areas of the country.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, and that's brings up the point where you have all these for our entire lives, for decades, for years, for centuries. Everybody's retirees have flocked to Florida, right? So, but if you do the research on Florida, they have a terrible educational system. They don't have a great education. They have a high crime rate. They have humidity that feels like hell, right? So being a Californian where we have never had to experience that kind of humidity is not ideal.
And they have alligators.
They have
Come on.
big ass alligators.
but
and rednecks.
I'm going to say that I firmly believe, in general, it costs, no matter where you live, it costs X amount for a state to deliver all the services that people need. And these low income, income tax or no income tax states will get it from somewhere else. These no sales tax states will get it from you somewhere else, right? Like Texas, lots and lots of toll roads. You can't go anywhere without paying a toll, right?
I know,
but it's low tax. But you're gonna be getting that Visa,
nickel and dime.
But you're gonna get the Visa bill, every month. It's so it's just you really gotta in big respect, you just gotta really kind of do your research. But they'll get it from you somewhere. It's not just about that.
So the clock is ticking for us.
I know.
Right? We're gonna have to kind of figure out which direction we're gonna go at this point. But one thing that I think that people should understand is that if California, I get all this heat from people all over the country about how crazy we are. And I mean, that's always been the mantra, right? We're all nuts, right? Californians are all idiots. You guys are morons, whatever. But I will tell you that we are the breadbasket for the world.
We are.
So if California implodes, so goes America. So take it easy, and just understand that we are a vital part of America.
And the reality is, people just going by about their daily lives, politics
doesn't matter.
Doesn't even come in. No matter where you go to the grocery, everybody's nice. The reality is everybody's nice, whether you're in Kansas or whether you're in Texas or whether you're in California. Everybody's just is just doing their thing.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Texas. Texas was a hot spot too for a minute, right? So you look at all of when we got into this, you look at all of the different statistics, right? So not only does Florida have this crazy, they have a higher crime rate per capita than California. Austin has a higher, because we get this bad rap for being, this country under siege, crime, we're terrible, everyone's killing everybody, everyone's homeless, right? But per capita, Austin is worse. Their crime is worse.
I mean, it's just
their homeless situation is worse per capita. Washington, D.C., worse per capita than San Francisco. Look, we have our work cut out for us, right? But
it doesn't mean we're perfect or we don't have policies that are kind of backwards or that kind of stuff. But no, it's.
But there's a lot that goes into to the final chapter of our lives, right? There's a lot that goes into that. Part of it's taxes, part of it's comfort, part of it's all that. So when we consider where are we going to go, we don't know.
Yes, but the key is that you should start now. Talk to like a financial planner just to kind of get assessment where you're at, and then they can help map out where you will be, and you can help make a smart decision. There are professionals out there that will do that for you. It's really good.
That's great advice. And that was the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka, and it was brought to you by our friends at Red Sky Outfitters and Trail Guides.
Turn off, walk away, and don't look back.
Haters love this
This is how we party.
Just a bunch of time. We'll never get back. Don't listen.
Pour some
sugar on me.
You're on a hot streak.
Okay, but that was pretty easy.
It's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. And we are inside the Candlestick Park studios today. Stick around. The WTF What the Fuck Power Poll is coming up. It's being brought to you by Take It Easy Spas. And also, we're going to talk about Ernest Hemingway in our Crazy Town segment.
All
Ernestine. His mom called him Ernestine.
That's horrible.
Have I said that before?
Yes. But by the way, we should, for Candlestick Park Studios here, we should have Will Clark, the Thrill. There needs to be a picture with the Thrill. He embodied.
It looks like they're going to get one.
Thank you, guys.
They don't have one.
No, Eric's not getting that.
They don't have one. I think there's food in the other room.
Probably. Okay.
So let's get into Yeah, Buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
And Yeah, Buddy is being brought to you today by Sweat and Smile Gyms. That does not work for me, but whatever. Yeah, Buddy. Let's talk about Las Vegas. So I just recently did a trip to Vegas.
Oh, you did?
We had a good time. I mean, I hadn't been there for quite a while, for a couple of years, but Vegas has changed. It's nickel and dime town now. It's not $2.99 buffets and cheap gamble. They're not trying to lure you in to get you to gamble with all the cheap food and the cheap drinks and all that kind of stuff. It's nickel and dime. It's Disney.
Is it really? I actually haven't been there in a while. And the only times I've really been there the last several years were for trade shows or events.
It's painfully lame. And I'm so old that I can remember when the Mirage Hotel was built, and I've stayed there many times. But, because it's such a perfect location. It's right on the middle. Right. It's got the volcano right there, everything. So they're tearing it down. They're tearing down the Mirage, and they're putting in a Hard Rock right in that location, because Hard Rock is way down the strip.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted a spot there, and it's pretty cool the way they worked this out. So the ownership group is 51% Indian tribe and 49% whatever. So they get no taxes in the state of Nevada.
That's how you work it.
Dude, the Indians of all people deserve it, man. We treated those guys like shit. Trail of
Tears.
You
will get no argument from me. Every now and then I watch the Aerial America. At any time through the Midwest, there's always showing some scene where we screw the Indians.
Oh my God.
They really
It's so bad. I'm actually glad Custer got his ass kicked.
Yeah, he probably
deserved it.
He was probably mooning those guys. You know what I mean? And he deserved to get an error right there.
He did something, and it wasn't good. But they got a casino out of the deal. They got a bunch of casinos out of the deal, and we'll see what else.
And hasn't everything kind of pivoted to also families now too, not just the gambling?
Yeah, there's strollers. Right? There's strollers all over the place. I mean, we had a good time, but I don't even really need to endorse Las Vegas, because everybody from all over the world is showing up there now. It was just jam-packed. But if you're looking for cheap and awesome and all you can eat buffets, forget about it. The buffets are gone. The buffets are no longer, you can't even find a buffet anywhere. And they used to be everywhere. So that's all done, right? They've quit doing that. Free drinks, not. You're not going to get free drinks sitting at a table, especially on the strip.
You have to prove yourself first, and then they'll do it. And don't they keep track of everything now?
I think they do.
I mean, they'll know everybody, what you're spending, and no free drinks for these people come in there and sit at the nickel slots, right?
Yeah, and there's no nickel slots. And the other thing that's gone is no comps. No comps to shows. You're not going to get any comps. That's just not happening. It's now, like I said, it's Disney, and what happens in Vegas never stays in Vegas.
No, but
people all babble about what they do in Vegas.
They have to be filled with idiots who think they're bigger players than they actually are, going in and making the low room reservation, trying to say, well, they'll upgrade me. They'll upgrade me when I get there. And they try to play themselves up as a big spender. And you can just see these people there. You just think they're bigger players than they actually are.
It's hard for me to stomach those people.
Yeah, no,
because I've been that person.
Oh, you've gotten upgraded?
I've been
or asked for upgrades and you didn't get them?
Yeah. No, I've been on both sides of that.
Okay.
That story. I'm ashamed, but I can come forth with an admission of guilt.
Okay, you're an idiot.
I am an idiot. That's not the first time I've been called an idiot. But the good news, the silver lining, is that it's not all a ripoff. It's not all Disneyland there. If you look for it, you can actually find some value. Dramatic pause. Now, so you take a road trip. Instead of staying on the strip where you're going to get just screwed, right? It's great. You want to be in that location, right? But if you stay at Fremont Street, you're going to get some pretty good deals. Like, it's still drink worthy. Like, you can still get your money's worth with adult beverages. You can also still get a room that's fairly nice. That used to be trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fremont Street, before they redid it, like in the late 90s or whenever they did, they used to be straight trash. Like, that was like hookers and toothless crackheads and all that. But now Fremont Street is really cool. They've got a light show that goes on. They've got live music there all the time. They've got Fitzgerald's, which is they have some pretty good hotels and some pretty good entertainment there. So first of all, what I would suggest would be taking a road trip down to Fremont Street and get on those tables. And that's where you let it ride. That's where you're going to find the nickel slots.
There you go.
That's where you're going to find the $5 tables. That's where you're going to find the $10 tables. On the Strip, you can't find anything less than a $50 table. And when you see the $50 table, it's like the movie Swingers. It's exactly like the movie. All the deplorables. Isn't that Hillary Clinton? Deplorables?
Yes.
Deplorables. Yeah. They're all there. They're all hanging out there. So it's not really worth it. But you can let it ride on Fremont Street and kind of get, a pretty good value there. Let's see. What else? The Stratosphere is down there too. They call that the Strat now. That's one of my favorite places because it's kind of a value. You have if you're with somebody that you're romantically involved with.
Yeah.
They have the Top of the World, which is a great rotating, beautiful view, probably the best view, one of the best views of the Strip. And you have all the rides, the roller coasters and all the crazy shit at the top of the Stratosphere, which is right there. So you can do that too. And it's up to them. People are so crazy about food now. I'm not even going to make any sort of suggestions because people get, it's all part of how cool they are.
Right.
Where they eat. They take pictures of this and they post their food on. That's how big it is. It's a big deal. So I'm not getting into that, but I will say that you can find all of the best dining is off the Strip. All of the best dining is not going to be found in the Venetian or in the Wynn or inside Treasure Island.
Right.
You got to kind of look around and figure it out, right? I remember when cabs from McCarran, from the airport were $10 and you could get a cab, get your hotel on the Strip, and now those are like $50.
Sure.
And that's like the pulse of everything that's happening in Vegas now. Nickel, dime, quarter. Nickel, dime, quarter. Nickel, dime,
well,
quarter,
adding to
dollar.
that, I just got reminded we got you remember our very first sponsor here on the show, Go Car?
Go-Car. Are they there?
They just opened up Go Car Las Vegas.
They're going to crush it.
Yeah. And I think they're doing all electric vehicles there, and they are they were showing off they had their autonomous driving, so the cars will deliver themselves to your hotel, so you don't have to go down to the shop to check out the car and go do your tour. The cars will deliver themselves to your hotel. You do the tour, you drive, do everything like that, but then all of a sudden when you come back to your hotel, just hit a button, car will take itself back to the shop. It's pretty cool. So,
they're going to crush it.
Yeah. Cheers, Go Car, man. There you go.
Yeah, that's a great move because, people now, okay, so I moved away from the cabs. If I got to the airport and I was just meeting a bunch of dudes or a bunch of buddies or hanging out, didn't have anybody to impress, you could get on a shuttle.
Yeah.
There would be, you'd have to wait maybe a half an hour, but it was really convenient. It was great. They dropped people off. It was no big deal. It's like $10.
Yeah, they make the rounds. Yeah.
And if you have nothing but time,
yeah,
right?
if you're especially if you're the first one there and everybody else hasn't arrived yet.
And the line for taxis is so crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's like all the slobbering zombies, all the drunk monkeys are all waiting in line for these cabs. It might take you 30 minutes to get a cab, right?
And the traffic out there has been booming over the past 20 years, and it being an airport aficionado, they've opened up a second terminal over the last 20 years there. They're expanding the airport. It's really good stuff.
They do have a nice airport. I'm just trying to say that there are ways to avoid. You have to look for them. You have to plan, but there are ways to sort of avoid. And of course, if you're determined, like you kind of have to stay on the Strip, in the middle of the Strip. You can stay at Fremont Street and then take the cab ride up to the Strip, but it's actually very much more convenient to just find a deal. Some of the hotels that I like, so the Mirage is gone, but that was like one of the best locations and you could find great deals at the Mirage. Caesar's Palace is a total ripoff now because they have the standard rooms that are just like every other standard room and they don't have Caesar walking around anymore. That doesn't happen very frequently.
Right.
You used to have all that going on. Sports Bar is great. They have a fantastic sports book at Caesars, but I would say the best for your money is Treasure Island, and that's a little Disney. There's a lot of kids you're going to run it. A lot of kids you're going to run into there, but it's got that great location. Last time I was there, I stayed at the Venetian, which was great. It was great. Fine. Feels like you're in a mall. I kind of don't like that feel, but it was clean. I think
is the Bellagio has all the fountain show.
Oh yeah, I stayed there like 2 years ago too. It was nice.
I had a behind the scenes tour there once, and it was actually very fascinating. And got to
what was fascinating about it?
How the whole bar system is all there are no like bottles. It's all done from the guns, right? From the like soda guns, but it has all the alcohol through them. It has a whole master warehouse full of these huge tanks full of the booze that are all controlled. It's fascinating.
That's pretty cool.
Track it down. They track it down. They keep track of that stuff to the ounce.
So have you been to a Cirque show?
No.
So that's one thing that I would recommend everybody do. That's really worth the money. So I've been to many. I think my most favorite, they're all great. They're all great. I would say that's one thing you can invest your money in when you're there and not be worried about it. It is really, really worth the money. Carrot Top is also worth the money.
Come on.
I'm not kidding. People give me shit.
That's your redhead bias there. Come on.
People give me shit about that all the time. But really, if you go into that show and you're not like all hardcore, like you're not going to be all, uptight about, he's funny. And it's really quick. It's a really quick prop show. It's like an hour, maybe quick, and he just rolls right into it.
There's a
prop
reason.
Prop after prop.
I will say one thing. There's a reason why he's been around a long time. It's probably he is pretty good.
He's pretty good, and he's not too expensive. And the Luxor is one of the.
He is an odd looking man, though.
He isn't. But he's not big anymore. He's off the roids. I think he's off the juice.
He's off the roids.
I think he's completely off the juice. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, that's a show that I would recommend if you're in. I've seen some really bad ones.
And they're having some famous rock bands, right? Speaking of the 80s, didn't Def Leppard do a residency up there for a little bit? Or
they might be there now.
I mean, there are people doing.
Oh no, they're on the road with
doing that. Leppard. The whole Motley Crue. Yeah. But anyway, they all do. I think they've all done.
Oh, Bryan Adams is doing a residency there now.
Okay.
And Britney Spears, right? Is she still there?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's where people. That's where the whole.
Is Wayne Newton still there?
The whole industry joke is that's where people go to die. Because the residency at the Hilton is what killed Elvis Presley.
Yes,
that's where. And look at what happens.
Is there still a Wayne Newton singing?
I don't even know if Wayne Newton is still alive.
He's still alive, but he's had plastic surgery. He looks 12.
So he's probably 80. I'd go see him.
I just read something. I think he's broke too.
I'd go see him, but I would definitely go see Carrot Top before I went to go see him. He's cheap. Okay. You'll laugh. I mean, if you're open, you have a couple drinks, you go there, and you are not going to be uptight. It's pretty good.
And you don't mind being around 50% audience with redhead.
So the bottom line, I know everybody in the whole world has been to Vegas, but I don't want anyone to be shocked at the sticker shock. Like I don't want people to be freaked out when they go there and be upset and be grumpy old men or grumpy old women and go, oh my God, I'm getting nickel and dimed everywhere. It's going to happen. But the key is really, if you research Vegas before you go, you can win. But again, I would not expect to win a whole bunch of money there. It's very difficult to win money.
That's why
gambling.
Vegas is still there.
Very difficult. And not only is it still there, it is still there and it has prospered. There's an NFL stadium there that looks like its own state.
Yes, for the NFL games that aren't rigged.
So get to Vegas and have a good time. And remember that you only live once. You only live one time. So
all right, I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
Yeah, buddy. Let's do it together. So that was Yeah, Buddy. And it was brought to you by Sweat and Smile Gyms.
Turn off, walk away, and don't look back.
Haters love this
This is how we party.
Just a bunch of time. we'll never get back. Don't listen.
Okay, we're back. It's the mind virus, your favorite mind virus, the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. We are inside some kind of fucking crazy
Candlestick
Park.
Yeah.
And by the way, next season or any season afterwards, if you're interested in sponsoring our studio, getting the naming rights to the studio, just contact us.
We'll give you a little promo too. We'll talk about you. We'll talk about your faults and
your situation.
Yeah. We'll have a little gossip session.
All you have to do to get the naming rights is contact us at the website at don'tlistenchumcast.com and let us know you're interested. And it goes for the same for sponsorships of our segments.
Yep.
Portions of those proceeds go to the Michael J. Fox Foundation, where they do great work with Parkinson's. And let's see, where are we going with this? Oh, the power poll.
What the power poll?
It's the WTF Power Poll, which is being brought to you by Take It Easy Spas. All you need to do is log on to the website, vote, and discuss on the Power Poll. It's don'tlistenchumcast.com. And what we want to know is, where are you Californians going to go when you leave?
We don't know. Only Californians can vote?
Well, it's about where Californians are going to go when they leave. I don't care. As what you see what happens with the power poll.
We don't want to get
always goes crazy. It's always chaotic.
We don't want that guy from Maryland, from Bethesda, Maryland.
Why? Why not? He can say, if I were in California, I'd move to Maryland.
All right, there you go.
They can pretend they can do whatever they want.
This is going to be skewed data. Non-scientific.
So are we getting into Crazy Town now, or are we taking a break?
No, I think, are we done with the power poll?
Yeah.
All right. I think
all we do is tell people what's up and then move on.
Okay, let's start. Go ahead. What's the next segment?
So this is what I've been looking forward to all day.
It is
Crazy Town.
Welcome to Crazy Town. All aboard!
Crazy Town is being brought to you today by Kegs of Fun, liquor, beer, and wine retailers, and we are talking about Ernest Hemingway. Dude, I dove so deep into the rabbit hole with Ernest Hemingway. I can't even tell you. And what sparked this was I saw the Ken Burns.
I was just going to say, yeah, that's where I learned more about, what he was doing.
Holy shit.
Crazy, isn't it?
I mean, and I didn't really know anything about him. Like, I think I may have read 2 books, The Old Man and the Sea.
Yeah, but he was this kind of historical author figure in high school growing up in the 80s, right? He was the guy. The great writers, Hemingway.
He was he certainly had a great name, but it appears to me that Ernest Hemingway possibly could be one of the best OGs of the mind virus.
Okay.
He may own the rights to the mind virus. I don't know if you're ready for this, but gonna have to buckle up, because we're about to go right off the rails on
the crazy train.
Good for you. Good for you. You're coming around.
Doing my best.
So Hemingway, I don't even understand how his mom called him Ernestine. I've said that like 5 times.
Yeah, great promos to the segment. Yeah.
So his mother wanted a girl so badly that when she had Ernest, she named him Ernest, but she called him Ernestine and made him dress as a little girl. And I think he started to like it. That's not the opening, but I couldn't hold myself back. I don't know how Ernest Hemingway managed to write such American masterpieces. He wrote The Sun Also Rises, which I read, A Farewell to Arms, which was good, To Whom the Bell Tolls, which may have been his best.
Yeah.
And then The Old Man and the Sea. What a twisted personal life. I mean, his personal life was so twisted. I don't even know how he was able to write these stories. Dramatic pause. He survived 2 plane crashes. Do you remember me talking to you about the plane crashes?
Yes.
That's your jam right there, dude.
Yes. I like plane crashes. I want to be in one day.
No, I remember the time we went up in your plane and you turned the engine off in midair.
Well, that's a
And we
little
floated.
exaggeration, but yes.
You did something when we just floated around and you thought it was funny and I was shitting bricks.
Yes. But at least the bricks were going up.
Oh my God, that was not good. So the two plane crashes that he got into were in 2 days. And the most amazing one was he was in Africa and he and his wife at the time got in a plane. They wanted to go up to the these waterfalls and take these pictures. Well, they went down low in the plane to get these great shots and they smashed into some birds. And the plane goes down and they had a bottle of whiskey. He broke.
That's the guy yelled at, we're going to be in the Hudson.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, Sully. Yeah. So his wife at the time broke like 2 ribs and was knocked unconscious. He had a really bad head injury and broke his shoulder, I think. And they were in the middle of nowhere, so they had to survive in the plane wreckage with a bottle of scotch until someone came out and got him. Then they came out and got him somehow. Somehow, it's like a movie. Somehow they got him. And then they got on a plane. And then the plane they got on to take them to the hospital exploded.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding. Dude, you can't make that up. It exploded. And he was all cut. And Hemingway couldn't get out. He could not get out of the airplane. Everybody else got out and he couldn't get out.
He couldn't get out.
Yeah, but he survived those 2 plane crashes, right? And this is more fascination. So his World War I and World War II experiences as a
he's like a war correspondent, right?
Yeah, he went to France. He couldn't get in because he had a bad eye. So he goes to France and he becomes an ambulance driver. And they say that the shit he saw in World War I scarred him up. Like all the carnage, all the blood, everything that he saw completely destroyed him. I mean, it didn't destroy him, but he never forgot it.
It piled on to the Ernestine comments from his mother.
So he became he also in World War I got on subs. He got on submarines and he chased German submarines.
Oh.
So he managed to, he really had that desire, like to get into that war thing. But I don't think he, expected to see everything that he saw. So he was a combat fighter. He was a correspondent. Let's see. Oh yeah, the nightmares from World War I lasted his entire lifetime. His mom dressed him as a girl, called him Ernestine. That had to be very confusing because his dad, who also committed suicide, by the way, because his mom, Ernest Hemingway, blamed his mom for his dad's suicide because she was so militant.
Okay.
And she was always bossing him around and all that kind of stuff. So the dichotomy here is his mom called him Ernestine and dressed him up like a girl, and his dad was a great outdoorsman. So his dad took him to Lake Michigan every summer for 2 months and taught him how to fish, how to do all these manly macho things, how to hunt, how to camp, how to do all these. So maybe a little bit of a confusing upbringing.
He was Van Halen's best of both worlds, huh? He had it.
The best of both worlds, except for the dress and the high heels. It's not. I mean,
and a very
and
a very understanding wife, right?
Yeah, very. He had 4 wives. You talking about Ernest?
Yeah,
Ernestine. So his dad committed suicide. His dad battled depression his entire and bipolar, and ended up killing himself. And Hemingway hated his mom, supported her financially for the rest of his life, but he hated her. Estranged, never had anything to do with it. And it gets better. J. Edgar Hoover, who we all know,
yep,
personally,
he liked dresses.
He that's exactly right. He illegally surveilled every minute of every hour of Hemingway's moves once he got famous. And it made Hemingway very paranoid because he was drunk all the time. He was drunk all the time. Never stopped. Hemingway wrote from 4:00 in the morning until noon, and then he got drunk for the rest of the day. So
That's a nice schedule.
I don't understand how he got up in the morning and didn't just, one of the reasons why I quit drinking was because I didn't like the hangovers.
Yeah.
Taking days out of my life, right? So, but somehow Hemingway was tough enough to get out of bed. So anyway, J. Edgar Hoover was keeping an eye on him, and it made Ernestine very paranoid and delusional. But he did survive, besides the plane crashes, he did survive many hardcore head injuries, concussions. I think 5 of them, 5 severe concussions. He survived malaria, skin cancer, hepatitis, diabetes, blood poisoning, and probably herpes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The Valtrex is staring me in the face here.
We're tying every segment we've ever done all together right with Hemingway, right?
Yeah, he definitely had herpes if he had all that other crap.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't even care. He was too drunk to care. That's what all the herpes passers are all too drunk to care.
Yeah. He's patient 1.
But we can sue him now. He probably couldn't sue him back then. So, all right, J. Edgar Hoover gets in the picture, and he's got all these kinds of things that he's surviving. He's a very tough guy. He loved Africa and shooting large game. He once killed 400 animals in a day. This is a guy who's just writing books, dude. He's living the life. I'm not into killing any kind of animals at all.
No.
Like for survival, or if I had to eat something, I would kill it. If I had to survive, if a mountain lion was going to eat me, I'd kill it, right? But I'm not into doing that for game, to put their dead bodies as a carpet in my house.
Yeah, there's anything wrong with people who do that necessarily, but
no, I'm not judging.
No judgment.
People get off on that.
I know.
And he obviously did 400 animals in a day, and he went to Africa 1 billion times. But I don't know how else to really. He might be the king of Crazy Town. He had a home in the Florida Keys where he set the record for catching the largest marlin in the entire world.
Okay.
That obviously comes from his dad's side.
Yeah.
You see how the dad side is playing out with the Africa and the deep sea fishing,
the macho stuff. But when the lights go down and he goes into his room with his wife,
he's Ernestine. Yeah, very complicated. But
when does he eat a shotgun? When does he?
Okay, we'll get to that. So, he suffered from all sorts of mental illnesses, delusions, anxiety, depression, bipolar, and he mixed all of that with booze.
Yeah.
So, and there's this deep family history of mental illness and depression. His dad killed himself. He had this low frequency buzzing, low and high frequency buzzing.
I remember that from the show. Yeah.
In his ears. And he also suffered from double vision. And he's not even an old man. He's like 50. When you look at the Ken Burns documentary, when he is 50 years old, he looks 80.
Yeah.
Like he is putting away the booze, right? Spielberg. This is an interesting tie-in. Spielberg and Indiana Jones ripped off his book, For Whom the Bell Tolls, with Indiana Jones. The whole story is about it's a whole ripoff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what Hollywood does. They just re-rip off and re-rip off and re-rip off and do it segments and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it was kind of amazing to see the similarities in that. So he was married 4 times, like I said, but wife number 2, Martha Gellhorn, was probably a better hunter and a better correspondent in World War II. Hemingway fought battles with Patton.
Okay.
And hated him. Those 2 guys probably did not get along too well.
No. Patton was a tough character.
His chief rival, Hemingway's chief rival, and actually a friend of his was F. Scott Fitzgerald, who also drank himself to death at 40. Couldn't write a script. They wanted him to write movies, and he killed himself, drank himself to death trying to figure out how to format a movie script.
Oh.
F. Scott Fitzgerald said, when people were asking about Hemingway, he goes, Hemingway has to marry a new woman for every novel. I mean, think about it. It's pretty good inspiration, right? So, and I do want to add this. So, Hemingway ended up hating his mom so badly, and he financially supported her, but he never spoke to her again. and he didn't attend her. He paid for her funeral, but he never attended it.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a crappy way to go out. You got to make amends, I think, at some point. But in the end, you want to get to the end, right? It was cirrhosis of the liver, depression, delusions. He had been in and out of mental institution with these delusions, and they begged him. This is how this worked. They begged him not to drink. They were like, don't drink, don't drink, don't drink. Then they started serving him wine in the mental institutions. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. They started serving him wine. He got his way. And so the concussions also played a key role, right? Now we hear about guys like Junior Seau.
Yeah.
That killed themselves. Those brain injuries.
The CRT, what is that, right?
He had 5 very serious, very, very serious. One, a chandelier fell on his head. Hemingway.
Oh, happens to me all the time. Yeah.
The drunken maneuver. Another one was his Jeep was blown up in World War II.
That's going to add up, right?
All of it's going to add up. 5, right? 5 of them. So they think that kind of played into his mental illness as well. So at the end, he was dealing with dealing with all this different stuff. I mean, this stuff is going to pile up. He had a home in Cuba that you can still visit today.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's one of the best museums in the world because it's all filled with all of the stuff that was there when he died. 30 cats. Some had 6 fingers on their paws.
Oh, mutation.
So that kind of makes it official, right? Crazy cat guy.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it
crazy
official.
cat guy.
But somehow this guy managed to stay sober. He never drank when he was writing. From 4 a.m., his rule was from 4 a.m. until 12 noon, he wrote.
And then he hit the booze.
Did I mention that his kid, so his kid became a transvestite?
No,
his kid
did mention that.
His kid became a cross-dressing, one boy became a cross-dressing transvestite, and the other one became mentally ill. Like I said, it ran in the family. It ran, mental illness ran in the family. But that's kind of weird, right? The way Hemingway was raised with his mom dressing her, and then his kid becomes
doing the.
So he caught his kid putting on his Hemingway. Ernestine found his kid going into his closet, finding his women's clothing that he was wearing, and putting at a very young age. His kid was cross-dressing and loved it, and told his brother there was nothing like the feeling of cross-dressing.
Well, the feeling of silk in the morning is just there's no substitute.
In the other room, there's no substitute. There is no other. The other thing is that he was very he was like David Bowie. He was very sexually androgynous.
Yeah.
Right. So he liked for his wives to have short haircuts and to act like men.
You're right. Yeah, no, that's all right. I think the last one was fairly compliant.
Got to spice it up.
I'm telling you, these guy. I think
this guy.
I think you have hit the definition of crazy town, right? With this guy.
So, his last words were "Good night, kitten," and I'll take you through. So, he was in and out of hospitals, mental institutions. His wife goes and gets him out of the last one, probably the 5th or the 6th mental institution that he was in. She gets him out. She's kind of concerned about him. He's a big gun guy. He's got guns all over this compound in Ketchum. I believe it was Ketchum.
And that's weird because I think I understand now that more guns make us safer.
Yeah.
So it's weird that he would actually harm himself with a gun. It's supposed to make us more safer. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, she had an opportunity to move the gun, but she didn't. And, she heard the gunshot in the morning and he was dead, gone.
Did it in the morning.
Did it in the morning. Yeah, I believe it was at the butt crack of dawn. And, he had, I believe, several instances where he either was thinking about it
Came
or was
close,
joking about it, was, in a passive aggressive way talking about
playing Russian roulette if he had the opportunity just for shits and giggles.
But at the end of his life, he was basically not even the dude and he was only 60.
Wow. Well, that's the welcome to Crazy Town. I tell you, if by the gold standard for all future episodes.
And you can check out his the Ken Burns documentary is outstanding. You can find that for free on YouTube, and also his memoir. Ernestine Hemingway's memoir is Movable Feast, which was a fascinating read. I mean, he was the Americana writer, so it was not really my style. Like it's kind of old school.
Right.
But he did teach an entire generation of writers how to write.
Sure.
But I bet he was a prick. I mean, I bet he was just a full-blown prick, dude.
Yes. Glad I was not his neighbor.
And that was Welcome to Crazy Town. And let's see, we're going to get to Holla here in a minute. But that was brought to you by, do you remember who that was brought to you by?
Boy, where's
That's
the card?
No.
Where's the card? Where's the card? We want to find it. You want to cut the commercial and find it on the next segment?
No, she already gave it to me. She already gave it to me. It's right here.
Good looking.
Welcome to Crazy Town. Oh, how ironic is this? Welcome to Crazy Town was brought to you by Kegs of Fun Liquor, Beer, and Wine.
We've officially bottomed out.
Where's the awesome sauce?
Unsubscribe, unfollow, and unplug.
This is how we party.
Don't listen.
Pass the awesome sauce. It's your favorite mind virus, the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. We're almost out of here. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. And that's not enough awesome sauce, dude. I'm still recovering from Ernestine.
You are. He really threw you there. Also, not being able to find the card with the sponsor on it. It really was really a professional move on your part.
Professional?
Yeah.
So the way to say professional is profesh.
Profesh. Is that slang?
It's slang, but it's far more effective.
Evan says no.
Yeah, Evan's always on your side.
Yeah.
No one's actually ever on my side.
Well, Rachel's on your side the whole time. She said she's like your biggest supporter, right? I barely get Doug and Michael.
I will tell you that Rachel has given me approval for Oliver to come back.
Really?
They're no longer concerned about their palatial studios here anymore.
Oliver was very well behaved. Jean-Luc was a pain in the...
But no, he's not. Jean-Luc,
he's fine, but
he's fine. And they should all be allowed in the studios. We should be able to bring hookers into the studios. We are paying the bills for these people.
Okay.
That reminds me, by the way, donate to us. Go to don'tlistenchumcast.com if you like the content.
Yeah, spread some wealth out. Come on, guys.
Spread some wealth. Hit the Venmo. Or if you want to sponsor our studio, get the naming rights to the studio, or you want to sponsor a segment, don'tlistenchumcast.com. Just contact us and let us know. The Venmo is right there too. Before we get to Holla, I want to thank everybody for checking out our Facebook page and for all the commentary. Dude, that always gets sideways.
Yes, very nice.
All the stuff that we post on Facebook always goes completely sideways. It never stays on task. They go all over the place. You get people commenting from all over the place. And where's the other commentary? Oh, the power poll.
Yeah.
It never stays on task either.
No.
I'll go floating all over the place.
No. Don't listen to it. Anyway, time to start wrapping up. What's our last segment?
Celebrate good times.
Come on.
All in all, you're just
another brick in the wall.
2 for 2.
Yes, I'm Jason the Mason who made a foundation.
Holla!
Holla! Holla! Holla! Holla! Holla!
Holla is being brought to you today by Onward and Upward Travel. And believe it or not, we have more herpes commentary.
Of course.
I think this is a whole society, dude. There are like people with herpes everywhere.
I know. It's
creepy.
It's like,
I wonder if they're disclosing.
If you could just get a whole voting block, you could totally have political power.
I wonder if they're disclosing. Let's see what Monica from Sacramento says, everyone's got it, in quotes. She's a fucktard. Ooh,
what the hell was that?
I don't know. She's
language.
Monica sounds like she's been affected by
language.
Herpes.
Monica, jeez.
Herpes. Oh, herpes has ruined my dating life. POS, which stands for
Piece of doo-doo.
Piece of shit. Shit means so much more than doo-doo.
Oh, come on. Language.
So dating has ruined Monica's dating life. Piece of shit losers like this need heavy fines at the bare minimum. Very lucky, Big Red. You better stay safe because herpes sucks.
All I'm saying is the volume of herpes feedback has been huge here.
I don't know what that's all about.
We should talk about it more.
Oh, yeah. Prue, 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 in Palm Springs says, disclosing herpes makes dating impossible. Too much judgment, not enough education. Ooh, that's a profound
Is
statement.
Prue a guy or girl, you think? Is that a good girl's name or a guy's name?
I knew a Prue when I went to Terra Linda in St. Carlos, and I'm wondering if this is her.
Interesting.
But she does say thanks for sharing. The virus has sucked in so many ways for her over the past 10
Well, don't
years.
out your friends that are coming in on herpes talk. Come
That's
on.
what she's the one writing it.
I know, but we don't know if it's Prue from Terra Linda back in the 80s.
That's true. We don't.
Okay.
I have no proof. I have no evidence. And
He just knew a Prue.
Yeah.
So there you go. A very common name.
Rico in LA. He Venmo'd us. I don't know what the amount
Rico.
was, but we thank him for that. That's big time support. And by the way,
Anytime you have a statute named after you, the Rico statute.
that's right. Rico Suave.
Yeah, you could totally spread the wealth. Yep.
And these people who Venmo, the people or the corporations, we've had some pretty nice corporations donate to. They usually review. They'll review us for better or for worse. It's always mixed. And they will usually follow us on Facebook
They're
as well.
taking a chance, man.
It all kind of works together, but he did Venmo us. Thank you very much, Rico. Reviewed and following. He's following us on Facebook. Now, don't blow it. Don't blow what? We already got your dough, dude. Keep up the good work. Easy to find you at the very top of the suck
List.
God, we would never work on password.
No.
So that was Holla.
That's Holla.
And it was brought to you by, I don't think we have a sponsor. Oh, yeah, we do. Brought to you by Onward and Upward Travel. And that does it.
And we are over time. Rachel is saying the cut sign. There it is.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next Chumcast. Remember that everything we want is on the other side of fear.
Bye, Felicia.
Don't listen. A Basic Chumcast has been an exclusive presentation of Whetstone Entertainment in association with Is Chill Productions. Subscribe, follow, like, and share us while on your favorite social media hangouts and our YouTube channel. We're not into begging, but if you like us, review us and support us by continuing to check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Find more fun and hit us with your feedback at don'tlistenchumcast.com.
Yeah, that's fantastic.